Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to dive into how to register your cleaning business, which is one of the first and most important steps to getting your company off the ground. I'll walk you through the process and help you figure out whether you should register as a sole trader, an LLC, or another type of company. And don't worry, we'll also talk about capital requirements and how to make sure you're following the right legal steps based on where you live. So let's start with the very first thing you need to decide. What type of business structure do you want? This decision is super important because it affects how you operate your business, how you get taxed, and your personal liability. There are a few options, but today we'll focus on two common ones, a sole trader and an LLC. So first, let's talk about the sole trader setup. This is a really simple structure. You're the business. All the profits and losses come directly to you, and there's no separation between you and the business. This is a great option if you're just starting out and don't have big upfront costs. It's easy to set up, and in most places it requires minimal paperwork. However, with a sole trader setup, your personal assets could be at risk if something goes wrong. So keep that in mind. But for many cleaning businesses, owners starting out, this is a solid choice. On the other hand, if you're looking for more protection and want to separate your personal finances from your business, then an LLC might be the way to go. An LLC or limited liability company offers personal liability protection, which means your personal assets like your home or your car are protected if your business ever runs into financial trouble. It's a little more paperwork and a bit more cost to set up, but it's worth considering if you want that extra layer of security. Plus, it often looks more professional when you're dealing with larger clients or contractors. The downside, LLCs can sometimes have more complex tax requirements and they may require annual filings depending on where you are. Now, when you are choosing between these options, keep in mind that some countries or states may have specific rules about what business type structure you can use. For example, in Germany, they'll have a GmbH, which is similar to an LLC but requires a minimum amount of capital, usually about 25,000 euros. So if you're planning to set up in Germany or a similar country with a capital requirement, make sure you have the necessary investment or research what the minimal capital is. Not every country requires capital, but it's something you'll need to keep an eye on. On the flip side, some countries make it very easy to get started with no initial investment. For example, in the US or the UK, you can start a sole trader business with minimal upfront costs. But even if you're not required to put in a large amount of capital, you should always have enough funds to cover initial operating expenses like marketing, cleaning supplies, and any software tools you might need to manage your business. Once you've decided on a business structure and you have a good idea of any capital requirements, it's time to choose your business name. This part is really fun, but also crucial. Your business name is your brand, and it's how potential clients will recognize you. When picking a name, make sure it's unique and not already in use by another cleaning company. You don't want to deal with legal issues down the line because someone else already has the name. Check with your local business registry or do an online search to see if your desired name is available. If your chosen name is available, make sure it's also not copyrighted. In some cases, you might need to check trademarks, especially if you plan to expand in the future. If you're in a more competitive market, a unique, easy to remember name can also give you a leg up when it comes to SEO and marketing. Once you've locked down your name, it's time to register your business. This registration process varies depending on where you live, but in most places it's fairly simple. In many countries, you can register your business online through your government's official website. You'll typically need to provide some basic information like your business name, address, and the type of business you'll be running. In some cases, you might also need to provide your tax ID or employer identification number. Now, this is important. Make sure you do your research or speak to an accountant. Local rules or state rules can vary depending on the country or state you're in. For example, in the US, every state has different requirements for business registration, tax filings, and operating licenses. It's always a good idea to check in with an accountant or legal advisor to ensure you're doing everything correctly. Trust me, it's worth it to avoid fines or headaches later on. Some additional things you might need when registering your cleaning business could include an operating license or permits, especially if you're working in certain locations like commercial or industrial cleaning. Always double check your local regulations to make sure you're compliant with local rules. Even though it may seem like a hassle getting all your paperwork in order to start, it will save you a lot of trouble down the line. So once you've completed the registration process, you'll receive your business registration number, which is essential as your ID is a business entity. At this point, you can officially start marketing your business, finding clients, and getting to work. So in summary, here's the quick breakdown of what you need to register your cleaning business. So choose your business structure, sole trader, LLC, or another type. Research the legal requirements and capital investments for your region or country. Pick a unique business name and check for trademarks and copyright issues. And register your business online or through your local government's business registry. Consult with an accountant or a lawyer if you're unsure about any legal steps. Get any necessary operating licenses or permits. Once everything is registered, you're good to go. Start promoting your cleaning services and getting clients. So that's it. The process is simpler than it might seem, but make sure you follow each step carefully to ensure your cleaning business is set up for success. Remember, the first step is always deciding on your business structure, and then you can dive into the rest of the paperwork. Once you're registered, you can move on to marketing and getting clients. If you found this video useful, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more business tips, and drop any questions you have in the comments below. I'd love to hear about your own experiences or if you have any additional advice for registering your cleaning business. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.